This has been the Offsides NHL trade deadline breakdown. Now over to Jay for NFL offseason quarterback coverage.
Thanks, Tyler. Since Super Bowl 56, star and veteran quarterbacks seem to be on the move every single day. One player who isn't moving on is Aaron Rodgers, who re-signed with the Packers, which makes us wonder what will happen to Jordan Love. They drafted him to be Rodgers' replacement, but there's no way he suits up for them now. Rodgers might be back, but Davante Adams won't be. He refused to accept the franchise tag again, and Green Bay didn't offer him a good enough deal. Instead, the Packers dealt him to Las Vegas for 2 draft picks, and Vegas immediately gave Davante Adams a $140 million contract. The Raiders' offense just got an elite upgrade, and they needed it. Over in Denver, the Broncos acquired Russell Wilson from Seattle after Wilson spent 9 seasons there. With Wilson, Patrick Mahomes, Derek Carr, and Justin Herbert in the same division, watch out for the AFC West next season. After not being indicted on the many sexual misconduct allegations against him, Deshaun Watson is heading from Houston to the Cleveland Browns for the 3 of the first-round picks and more. Cleveland then signed him to a record-breaking, fully guaranteed 5-year, $230 million contract, which is a surprise since now everyone wants to know where Baker Mayfield will end up. Carson Wentz will be rejoining the NFC East, but not as an Eagle, instead as a Washington Commander, which may not turn out well given Wentz's injury and consistency concerns over the last few years. Matt Ryan, who played for the Falcons since 2008, is up to the Indianapolis Colts and will be the 4th quarterback since Andrew Luck retired, following Wentz, Philip Rivers, and Jacoby Brissett. Hopefully Ryan will be successful in Indianapolis, but the AFC is more loaded than ever, folks, and the Colts need him to playing like an MVP level if they want to get back to the playoffs. Lastly, after a short retirement from football, Tom Brady changed his mind and is coming back for a 23rd season. That's right, a 23rd season. This sent shockwaves out to the sports fans, with some thrilled and some furious. But the question of us are wondering, can he still continue to play as well? We will wait to see if his decision to return to pro football was the right move. Haley and Lex, back to you.
Hello, and welcome to our Offsides Contender NFL Draft discussion. I'm Seth Hellman, and I'm joined today by Jay Housman to discuss 4 contenders from last year and what they should do in the NFL Draft to improve. Jay, let's start with the Packers. What do they need to do to finally get over the hump?
Well, Seth, the Packers need to try to replace Davante Adams. They won't, but the Packers need to finally invest a first-round pick and some very strong offense talent, and pick someone like wide receiver George Pickens from the National Championship Georgia Bulldogs. Could be that guy. This way, Rodgers has great receivers to throw to accommodate A.J. Dillon and Aaron Jones.
Yeah, Jay, it's going to be really tough for them to replace Davante Adams. I'm really not sure why they let him go. Now let's move on to the Cowboys in the NFC East. What do they need to do to finally find some playoff success?
Seth, Dallas needs to have a very strong offense and make sure they pick some very good players within the draft. I believe Dallas's offense is still not strong enough to beat the great teams we are seeing now, and they should draft some very good players for the wide receiver position in the upcoming draft, because Dallas's offense is not up there as they were in the 90s, and that could be a major problem in future games.
Yeah, it's funny, Jay. For some reason, last year the offense was the problem for the Cowboys. Years past, it's been the defense. Now let's move over to the AFC. What do the Buffalo Bills need to do to finally get through the AFC?
Unfortunately, Buffalo needs a strong defense, and that's part of the reason why they lost to the Chiefs, aka 13 seconds, the greatest game we've ever seen in a playoff game since Mile High Miracle. Buffalo needs to draft very good defensive linemen in order for them to move forward and go to a Super Bowl. The really good players will be gone by the time they pick, but they might be able to get Jermaine Johnson from Florida State, which would be a good pick for them. Once Buffalo has a good D-line, then they'll be safe for a Super Bowl next year in Arizona.
Yeah, Jay, they are going to need to fill up some of those defensive question marks. Now, lastly, let's talk about the AFC champions, Cincinnati Bengals. What do they need to do to get Joe Burrow his first ring?
Well, the Bengals need help badly. They should try to draft someone like Tyler Smith from Tulsa. He's a 6'5" and 324 pounds and will be perfect for Joe Burrow. I also think they need to have a three-headed offensive monster, but they should look at the free agency and sign Julio Jones. Chase Higgins was not enough for Super Bowl 56. If they want to be in Super Bowl 57 Arizona, they will need to find a new wide receiver.
Yeah, Jay, that offensive line needs some help, and they're going to need some more offensive weapons to go alongside it. Well, that's all we have for today's Contender NFL Draft discussion. I'm Seth Hellman. Daniel, how about that shot clock?